You may also know him as the Jars Murderer because he kept their sexual organs in jars. Happy birthday, Lamb.
Yeah, happy birthday, buddy.
Keep your feet in the ground and your sexual organs in a jar.
We're Generation X, laughing at the world today. We're getting older, but we're still gonna play all day. Radio Labyrinth, our minds are a maze, navigating through the chaos of these modern days. Lost in the radio labyrinth.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Radio
All
Labyrinth.
right, we had an interesting week. I am here and I am back. I am well rested. You see my shirt, Peter Griffin lot shirt that I bought in Shakedown at the Phish show. It says party time, and he's wearing a John Fishman dress. You know, the dress that the drummer for Phish plays or wears when he's playing every single night. But anyway, let's talk about last week where I was, in the Catskills last weekend of what do you call that? Upstate New York, Jeff?
Yeah.
Catskill region. It's sort of adjacent to the Poconos, these beautiful mountains. No highways anywhere. So thank you to my friend who drove 2.5 hours to pick me up at the airport, and then 2.5 hours.
You must have been pretty tore up, though, because, I mean, you texted me a couple times when you were there, and you told me you were in Catskills, Georgia.
I did say Georgia?
You did say that.
I must have. Yeah, I don't know how that could have happened. I wasn't, you know what? Things
Tim wasn't drunk or anything.
was my 18th, 19th, and 20th Phish shows. So now I'm in the 20s, and I don't know how many more I'll be able to go see, but it was a lot of fun. And my friend Larry went. I think that was his 45th. And we also had another friend there, Mark, and I've known all these guys since college. We were fraternity brothers in like the weirdo fraternity that eventually turned into a regular fraternity. But
It's like the lambdas.
You guys got dates besides Gilbert?
I do. Yeah, but that's with a guy.
What about you, Booger?
I've been out combing the high schools all day.
we weren't that weird. Maybe a step above.
Well, that's a shame, because fraternities really do represent virtue, charity, and brotherly love. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be playing foosball in the room.
And it was fun. We get together. We went to a brewery. Of course, we stayed at this Airbnb in the middle of the woods, right off the road. There was a babbling brook. But it was a lot of fun going to those shows. I will say that I have a couple of notes here about this. Toddlers and the children under whatever age, just with all the weed there and the drinking and the other drugs people do that you don't smell, but you can see they're visibly messed up. And I don't get it. I would never bring my child to a show like that. And
No, real judge much?
Judge, would you take a child to a band? Now, the music's fun and everything. Maybe the kids will like it, but the place is a drug place with weed everywhere. The two guys to the guy to my left and the guy to my right in my aisle, just one after the other, just joint all night long. And I had to pretend.
I would have to do that to get through that.
Well, yes, I know. You're like my friend Mark. You do not like jam band music. And
Oh, my God. But if I had that many drugs, I would get into it finally, at some point, maybe an ecstasy pill, something like that slips. And then the next thing I know, I'm into it. I love it.
I think if you heard an opening song like First Tube on the first night of a 3-day run, you would be in heaven the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, if it ends.
It does on Sunday night at 11:30.
I meant the song. If the song ends.
Oh, no, but you would love this. They did a 24-minute tweezer.
That's why. A song has to end. I think
They did a 24-minute tweezer.
7 to 8 minutes is long enough for any song. That's a long song.
Yeah, like what, Piano Man?
No, I'm thinking more like the Black Keys, Turn Blue or something like that, where it's like it's like an opus, but it starts out in a way and then it goes somewhere and then it does, and then it has a finish. Where yours is just like this constant state of what the fuck? When is this going to end? I mean, it just.
Let me see if this catches your interest, okay? Set 2 Friday night, which, by the way, is the best Phish show I've ever seen in my life, live. They open with the wedge, and then they go into tweezer. So they're going in and out of tweezer, right? They kick off tweezer, and then they play Pillow Jets from the new album, and then they play Piper, and they play Shining a Light, and all through that they're doing tweezer, and it would have blown your mind, Steph, for a half an hour. They almost
What is tweezer? What is it?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Tweezer is one of their
That's all.
famous. Yeah, and they usually do 20 to 25-minute versions of it.
So they're doing 2 songs at once?
Well, they're
They're teasing
jam.
the tweezer in the middle of other songs.
Right.
This sounds way too complicated.
Oh man, and they did like a 15-minute jam. It was just, you would have loved it, Steph. All the guitar, you would have had the experience that the guys in the barbershop had when Dave Chappelle took John Mayer in to play guitar, I think.
Hey, yo! Shut the up!
Shut that shit up, or whatever that line is. But enough of that. I talked about it on Trambles, which you can get in your audio feed if you are following Radio Labyrinth or whatever. But I will say, the open selling of drugs, I don't condone that.
Did you say hi to Max Yasker while you were there?
In spirit, I did, because when you can walk up to the top of the Bethel Woods Amphitheater and look down over the field where they had the original Woodstock in 1969, I thought that was pretty cool. Steph, you're going to dig this. They played their... For the first time, they played Ficus for the first time in 801 shows.
No.
Yeah, you missed it.
Ficus?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you MP3s of all 3 shows. So next week when we come back, you can share your thoughts. Does that sound good?
Yeah, and I'll just send you a video of an accordion in a washing machine, and you tell me how that sounds.
All right, we'll compare. We'll compare notes. As long as they play Tweezer for 24 minutes with the accordion in the washing machine, I'll dig it. Oh, yeah. And to the guy who was barefoot in the men's room after...
Oh, no.
I got to
That's
tell
what I'm
you,
talking
dude,
about.
you're my fucking
Dirty
hero.
hippies. I can't deal with them. They stink.
Most people had their shoes on, but this guy's just this. I mean, this is the bathroom at a amphitheater, and his feet have nothing on them, and he's just walking. It's piss and cigarette ashes and stuff. So, congratulations, buddy. You have a great immune system. Moving on from Phish, also addressing last week. I don't believe we said at any time that we hated Joe Rogan. I believe we all who watched the special said that he was prepared, the timing was great, he had a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. We just said we didn't think it was very funny, or there weren't a lot of jokes that appealed to us. And, the boob sweat was very distracting. But Dustin had to shut off the comments on the short because people were being upset.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was half the people were complaining about Rogan not supporting Trump, and then the other half of the people were thinking we didn't like Joe Rogan, which, since neither one of them were even close, I just got the comments.
Good job. And also on the TikTok. Hey, he talked bad about Trump, blah, 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 blah. We don't care about that.
I've been waiting all day to get mad about something.
God damn it, and I haven't been online long enough to do. Okay, Skank Hunt 42. I watched that episode of South Park, forgot how funny it was, and Dildo Swaggins. Remember that one?
This is Dildo Swaggins. All trolls report in.
Speaking of Donald Trump did a Spaces. If you don't know what a Spaces is, that's an audio get together or interview with Elon Musk on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter. And they did that Monday night, and it was 45 minutes late, and people were getting mad trying to log in and watch it. And Elon first said, so we're experiencing a DDoS attack from somebody, and that's what's slowing us down, as opposed to telling the truth, which was that they were having technical difficulties. And then if you listen to it, which I know Steph did, the entire thing,
I did not listen to any of it. I saw the title card, and that was enough.
This is what Trump sounded like, you all say, because he was just looking down and talking into his phone, and he sounded like Rich Voss the entire time. He had that whole Rich Voss thing going. My wife, Bonnie, she's really hot, that kind of thing. He had that whole, yes, I'm either Rich Voss or I'm Donald Trump talking to Elon Musk. And
so is he hitting that part of old age where your jaw starts coming unhinged? Is that what's happening?
No, it had something to do with the processing in Zoom and
Oh.
him being so far away from it. And also that, for all these companies that Elon has started and they want everything to be X eventually. You buy the X car and you pay for it with your X money that you use in your bank, the X bank. I mean, he fired all the engineers that Twitter had. So, I mean, he fired them all the people, or they quit because he's a Nazi, according to them. It was weird, but they had millions of people logged in and it's had millions and millions of views. It was interesting, but I liked it because of the terrible quality of it and how late it was. And it was just a big fuck up. That's what made me happy. Is there any way I could fillet you any more? I wish I were there so I could cup your balls while I'm filleting you. President Trump, I highly endorse you, but I really wish I could take your massive swollen member into my mouth and trim your yeti pubes for you.
That would be very nice. Elon, we got to do something about your border.
Would you look at that? A ladder! Unfortunately, my design doesn't facilitate this type of...
Did anybody go see Borderlands?
Nah, son.
I told y'all this movie.
It is tracking to be the biggest bomb in history, Borderlands. And that's a shame. The video game was friggin' awesome. I loved that video game. I played it a lot. And unfortunately, they made this movie during the pandemic. And I think everybody in it was like, yeah, I'll be in this movie so I can get the hell out of the house. Yeah. Now, listen, you have these hot action stars, right? Like Gina Gershon, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart's in it. Jack Black plays Claptrap, which is, I think, the best casting. Bobby Lee, he's a huge draw for film. And then a bunch of other people are in it. But again, it's tracking to be the biggest bomb in the history of movies. Might not be, but it looks that way. Oh, Penn Jillette is in it, in case Jeff wants to see it. Made $8 million opening weekend and cost like $200 million to make. Okay, the budget, $110 to $120 million. And the first weekend it was out, it made $8 million. And Eli Roth directed this, huh?
When I found out that Eli Roth was doing this, I knew that was the nail in the coffin.
Why? He's not bad. Well, I guess, what did he direct?
Not his genre, though, is it?
No, not
he's
at all.
Horror. Right.
And he completely finished this movie, and then it was in post-production so long that he was able to make the Thanksgiving movie, post-produce it, and put it out.
Damn.
Since that one's been done. Everything you see from it, like all the action, he's not an action director at all.
Right.
And that's what it is an action movie. Also, he doesn't know how to set up scenes. Like the very first scene, Kevin Hart goes into a jail cell to break this girl out. And it's like the very first scene, and it's just headshots. It's not a distant shot. But the first thing she says is, oh, my dad sent the smallest soldier to come get me. But there's nothing referencing that Kevin Hart is short. But because you already know that, that's just shitty filmmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to know who Kevin Hart is and that he is short in order to experience. Okay.
They held on to this completely through The Last of Us and then Fallout being big. So they hyped this up thinking, okay, now we've got, a golden egg. And no, it's crap.
None of us are going to see this movie unless, Dustin, are you saying that you did watch it?
I watched clips that have come out.
I didn't see any commercials or anything for this. I saw the preview for it when I saw Deadpool Wolverine. And I was like, how come I've never heard anything about this movie? And it was coming out like a week later.
Well, it may have something to do with why it's done so poor.
They all knew. This is going to suck. All right. So I thought it would be fun for us to just list the top 10 biggest bombs of all time. And then we'll actually list movies or talk about very briefly bombs that we watched and enjoyed. So at number 10, you have Turning Red, which was a Pixar film, and I've never heard of it. It came out during COVID.
Yeah, that's the one about menstruation.
Oh, geez.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Wonder why.
Are you
So
sure?
gross.
Yeah,
It is.
It's about a girl getting her period for the first time.
So they got a movie about
modern-day
schmegma? I mean, what are they doing?
Turning Crusty? No, they don't have that.
Ugh.
So this movie cost $175 million, and it only made 20. That is a bomb.
And that's a Pixar movie.
Yeah,
I want to go
that's
see a cartoon about periods. Disgusting.
Menses. The movie Battleship is number 9.
That
cost,
is one of my favorite movies.
Is it? No, it's not.
The one with Rihanna?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rihanna, 2012.
Oh, when I looked at this list, most of the things, I'd say about half the things on here, I really like.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
This being
funny.
one of them.
It doesn't say how much it made. It just says that it cost $177 million. And
They got $8 of mine. I saw Battleship in the theater.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Is Liam Neeson in it?
Yeah. Yeah. He's the commander of the U.S. forces.
That's great.
But the crappy part, they tried to make those, this is what Hasbro, they tried to make movies out of their games with a lot of that stuff. And this was their attempt to make like 5 movies. And when this one failed, they scrapped the whole thing.
That sucks. Here's another one that doesn't say how much it took in, but Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas cost $184 million to produce. It came out in 2003, and it starred Brad Pitt. Despite audiences gave it an A- cinema score rating, it just had no one coming to see it. The other movies that came out that at the same time were Finding Nemo, Hulk, and Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. So that one was terrible. This one everybody's heard of, who's followed this sort of thing for years. Cutthroat Island cost $187 million to make. 1995 Swashbuckler starring Gina Davis, Matthew Modine, and Frank Langella. And because of this film, Carol Co. Pictures had to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy a month before it came out. It is not a good movie.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Man, they put so much money into advertising and everything for it. It was everywhere.
Was The Long Kiss Goodnight before or after that movie?
It was after. That was her redeeming thing after that. Yeah. That was her next movie.
Way, way better. A million times better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the next one? Here's another one that I've never heard of. Mortal Engines. It's based on a Philip Reeve novel. It came out in 2018. It's a steampunk film.
It's about these cities on wheels that attack each other.
Yeah.
And it was Peter Jackson's follow-up to King Kong, if I believe.
Oh, this is a Peter Jackson movie?
Yeah.
He directed it?
Yeah, he produced it. Witta did all the special effects and everything. The scale of it is astounding, but it's so comic booky, you just couldn't pull it off.
Damn. Well, it did not do well. It had a production budget of $100 million. And in the United States and Canada, it only grossed $16 million. Opening weekend, $8 million. And then all told, $83.7 million. So that one's definitely a bomb. Damn. Here's another one I don't recall. 2022 Strange World cost $197 million to make. And this is a Disney movie. Did you see this one, Dustin?
No, I don't. This one I didn't even ring a bell.
Yeah. Anybody know this one?
Never heard of it.
It grossed $73.6 million. And so $120 million lost. It is a Disney movie, as their only original animated movie of 2022. A family full of legendary explorers and their father who went missing 25 years ago in uncharted territories. So, goodbye.
That had like pandemic against it. And
yes.
Yeah.
And let's see. The 13th Warrior.
Love this movie.
Okay, the budget is $112 to $210 million with Antonio Banderas. 1999. I've never seen this, but I remember all the marketing for it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
The book was called Eaters of the Dead. And it was done by Crichton, I think. Michael Crichton. It was one of his first ones that he did. And it's a true story that he took from these old Viking texts, and he kind of just manipulated it. But it's really cool. It's kind of like the last stand between Vikings and Neanderthals. It's really cool. Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll watch it someday, and I'll rent it so they get a little more of their money back. At number 3 is The Flash. And when did that come out? A couple years ago. It cost $200 million. Not a Marvel, but a Warner Brothers DC bomb. It has grossed $102 million domestically and $248 million worldwide, but it still ended up being the biggest box office bomb in Warner Brothers history.
Wow.
And I haven't ever seen it. Did you guys watch it? Jeff, you saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, it's the recent one, right? With the
Michael
weirdo
Keaton.
that kidnapped the Navajo chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that weird dude.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was, I mean, for what they were going to do, it was, it was going to be okay, but he just kind of tanked the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's kidnapping.
Here's another Walt Disney failure. The Lone Ranger, 2013, about $220 million it cost to produce, starring Johnny Depp. Can't tell who's playing the Lone Ranger, but Johnny Depp.
It's Arm & Hammer.
Cannibal guy.
Cannibal guy.
Cannibal guy, Arm & Hammer. And Johnny Depp playing a Native American. Is he part Native American? I don't know. That movie lost a lot. I did see some of it. It's terrible.
Pretty bad.
And then at number one, John Carter, 133 to $236 million. The budget was $350 million.
Yep.
Jeez.
Really good movie. I liked it a lot.
Everybody who saw it liked it, I heard.
Yeah. I mean,
So I don't know why.
I thought it was okay.
the biggest problem with it was that it's from a story that's from the 30s. And it's one of the original sci-fi stories. So everything from the 1930s till now has pulled something from it and used it. So when people watch it, they're like, oh, this seems cliche. Well, the reason why is because that's the original story that you're seeing. So it didn't go over well. But, man, it's a great, great story.
All right. Well, now everybody go watch it. I'll watch it. The Postman is my favorite bomb when it comes to bomb movies. I enjoy the movie. I think Kevin Costner did a good job making the film. It just ran way over budget. Nobody saw it. $80 million to produce. And it's not as big as his most recent bomb. And it only grossed $47 million. But I also enjoy the book The Postman is based off of. But I will watch it every once in a while when it's on. So that's mine.
It's good. I like it.
Anybody else got a bomb they like?
Mine was Mallrats. Mallrats was officially a bomb. I mean, it cost $6 million to make, and they only made 2 at the theater. Now, granted, I think it was like 800 theaters, so it wasn't a lot of theaters. But it's one of those movies that Kevin Smith always goes back to, and I think it's always going to be a thorn in his side that it was a bomb when it could have been so great. And of course, it became cult status, and it's it's got a huge following now. But ultimately, it was a bomb.
Mine's Krull.
Krull.
Jeff prefers Krull.
I would much prefer Krull.
I like Krull.
$30 million to make, $16.9 million box office. That was on HBO all the time. So
Yeah, well, that's why I like it, because it was on all the time.
Yeah, and mine is Hot Rod. Love that movie. I've seen it a gajillion times. They made it on a $25 million budget, and it only pulled in $14 million.
I've only seen it one time, and I don't remember. Is Andy Samberg in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Him and Swearingen is his stepdad. And they have those fights in the basement.
Yep.
Got McBride in it?
Huh? Yeah, McBride's in it. I mean, the whole Lonely Island, Jorma.
Yep.
I got to watch it again.
It's so good. I love it so much.
All right. Those are bombs.
News, trailers, and trends with Steph.
There's no way that you could hide from the story of this Australian breakdancer from the Olympics. Even if you didn't watch the Olympics at all, could care nothing about it. Everyone has seen the memes of this horrible, terrible fiasco.
How did this person get on the Olympic team is my question.
Well, that question is really, there's a petition that they've started in Australia. It's already gotten over 5,000 signatures where they are alleging unethical selection on her part to even be allowed to go. That there was dancers who were far more talented than her, but Raygun is her name, Dr. Rachel blah, blah, blah. She's got her doctorate in crap or something. I don't know, but she is married to a breakdancing coach.
Oh.
Who, coached a lot of these. It all seems very like she greased her wheels to get herself there. Because when she was doing that kangaroo across the floor and fake pretend swimming on the ground after these other girls were just like spinning on top of their head for I don't even know how many rotations. I mean, they were so much it was like I thought it was Impractical Jokers or whatever the hell that show is. That's what I thought it was. I was watching the qualifying. I'm like, this isn't real. I just kept waiting for them to show them off screen, going, and now do this.
Yeah, no shit. She's no rerun.
No, it was awful.
She should have ordered Alfonso Ribeiro's Breaking Board. Because all for under $20. Remember that?
Yeah.
All for under $20.
Well, it pissed me off because it really was the only sport that I cared about, and them having. I've always loved to watch breakdancing ever since I was in.
It was cool.
Sixth grade, and I get to drag the linoleum out for the kids who could breakdance, which wasn't me.
Yeah.
But the other girls that she was, it sucks because they were all so good. And then it's been completely, I see all these memes about how, anybody could do this shit all because of her. And nobody's focusing on all of the women and, the dudes. They were killing it. So it just sucks that that's how it ended up being. And I hope they bust this dumb bitch.
Dustin came up with a name. Did you come up with this, Dustin? You said we should call the breakdancer Napoleon Vegemite.
Yeah, that was my line, and I posted it a few times online. And then today, I saw a meme that was created today that had it on there. I was like, damn it.
It was only a matter of time.
Yeah, I knew I couldn't have sit on it for long, but yeah.
Right. But Rachel Dratch on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Did you see him do it? Oh, God. She did such a hilarious impersonation. So
He's so
you have to check that out.
I'm glad she's still doing stuff because she's really, really funny.
She's way too funny. You know what I'm excited about now all of a sudden is I thought this movie was going to suck. And now the reviews are coming in on Alien Romulus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you seen the previews for it?
I have not watched the trailer for it. It's supposed to be good, though. I've read a lot of good things about it.
I'm waiting for Alien Vulcan, Planet Vulcan.
Yeah.
Well, I loved Prometheus, and I thought Covenant was fine. You know,
I like both of those too.
Hate it.
People hate Prometheus. I thought it was cool.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
But we'll never get the final, movie in that trilogy either, which sucks. But this one's supposed to take place between Alien and Aliens, though.
Oh,
yeah.
And they're saying like it's the gore is spot on, and it gives you that old feeling that you get. Yeah, which sometimes I watch a lot of stuff where you see that they're trying so hard to create that feeling, and they just can't. And there's something about the Alien. The way it's skittering and, and it's got the second mouth. There's just so many things.
That H.R. Giger was a very disturbed person.
The director on this, too, said that he tried everything he could to stay away from CG. If they could do it practical, they would. And so I think that's got a lot to do with how good it looks. It's like the old school movies were made.
Yeah, this one actually might drag me out. I may actually go see it. Why do you think, out of all of Celine Dion's songs, that Trump would pick My Heart Will Go On for his
Because I got shot. I got shot by a big bullet in Butler, Pennsylvania, and I said, well, my heart is going on. I lived. I put my fist in the air, and my heart is still going on. So
your ear is still going on?
I believe that my ear will go on, even though it's fake now.
Well, he could do It's All Coming Back to Me Now, or If You Asked Me To.
Ask me to. Yeah, even if you ask me to. Well, Celine is, she's finding a major faux pas with him taking this song and using it at his rallies.
As long as he's paying ASCAP fees, he can use whatever song he wants. The venue can use whatever song they want. So sorry, Celine.
I don't know. What would she do? What could she do?
If he's playing at a public venue that pays ASCAP and BMI fees, there's nothing she can do about it.
So her warning is,
don't really just hear my song.
How about you don't lip sync at the Olympics? Lip syncer.
She's very sick.
I know she is, but she shouldn't have. She's not.
Everybody lip synced at that closing ceremonies, though.
But at the opening ceremonies, they said she sang live, and she didn't. She lip synced. So there.
Well, it's not just that, this whole interview between Trump and Musk. Now they've stirred up the UAW, and they're filing federal charges against him and Musk, because in that interview, Musk said something about employees wanting to go on strike, and Trump says, basically if they try to go on strike, they're gone. So the UAW is finally federal charges saying that he is undermining the unions.
What does he have to do with them? Nothing. Another lawsuit. That's a political tactic. It's not a real lawsuit. Hey, you can't just sue people. I mean, you can sue anybody you like, but you're not going to win. Why do it? I know why. Because Michigan is a battleground state.
You're not wrong, Jerry. You're not wrong.
I'm never
at all.
wrong. Did you see my movie?
You're Unfrosted?
Yeah.
I loved it.
No, not B movie. Nobody liked it.
We need like a badass bitch like Halle Berry for president, because she's broken like 10 bones and been knocked out 3 times during her movies. So I don't know if you guys knew that, like how hardcore she is.
Yeah, it's all from that sex scene with Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, one of those bones was Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah. I'm going to give it to her. Let me
She
put
was-
some mustard on your biscuit. Yeah.
Catwoman alone, she probably broke 2 or 3.
Yeah, that one. And what was the one where she showed her boobies? Swordfish? Wasn't she
Swordfish
action in that?
was, but she was also in one of the John Wick movies with the dogs.
That's right. And that was recent. She was pretty good in that too, yeah.
And she was in the X-Men.
True.
Oh my God, she was Storm. That's right. She has low-key been in a lot of action movies, and I just didn't realize it. I always think of her as a dramatic actress because she is such a great actress. And, she'll always be in crap where people are crying and dying and stuff. So, and speaking of dying, don't know how I feel about Anthony Bourdain being played by Dominic Sessa. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah,
That's
He
good
was good in
casting.
He was good in the holdovers. So I'll watch it.
He was, but you see him as Bourdain?
He kind of looks like him.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm just not interested in a movie about Bourdain. If I'm going to do anything with Bourdain, I'm going to watch reruns of his show.
True.
Yeah. I mean, even that documentary, it was really good, though. He had quite an interesting life.
He sure did. Married the wrong woman.
Who's going to try this Coca-Cola flavored Oreo cookie that's coming out?
This is my brother. When we were kids, my brother used to dip Oreos in Pepsi.
Ew.
They
Ew.
belong in milk only.
And this one's
I'll
got
try-
Pop Rocks in it.
That's why I'm going to try it. I'm going to try the cookie because I think it's going to be interesting. But the drink, the Coke Zero, why didn't they just use regular Coke? Coke Zero? Oh, well, it's for the dieter. Fuck you. The Oreo flavored Coke Zero.
No, thank you. That sounds
rather
so
have-
disgusting.
No,
Bring back the coffee Coke. That was the only
yeah.
good Coke.
That was good
I
Coke
never-
plus and catch a wired.
I never tried coffee Coke.
It's good.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, I'm ready for some celery here because according to the story Jeff put in here, they found 2,300 pounds of meth hidden in a bunch of celery at a Georgia farmer's market.
Yeah. That is amazing. And then the next day they had the fentanyl bust. And then today they found a couple $1 million worth of meth somewhere else. So when did we become the meth capital of the Southeast?
I don't know we've got some really negligent drug dealers here. They're just getting busted left and right. None of them are worth a damn, it sounds like.
No, it sounds like their transportation people aren't worth a damn, and Atlanta is a hub. It's not a destination. So
My wife and I, we've been growing celery for 30 years and we ain't made a dime from it. So we just decided that we'd put it in there. You ever have ants on a log? That's ants on a log is either peanut butter or cream cheese with put some raisins on top of it. So we just made it look like ants on a log, and fuck, we didn't know.
You do enough meth, I think everything looks like it has ants on it.
A little fentanyl on top as the ants.
That's right, little fentanyl pills on top. But if you'd seen my wife, you'd know why I need meth. It's the only way my will get hard for that old hag.
Now, I didn't watch Squid Game, but season 2 is revealing that Ji-hun's return. And there's a new batch of players, apparently.
I dug Squid Games. You didn't watch any of it?
I mean, is this the show?
this is a sequel to the big original Squid Game that was a phenomenon.
Honestly, dudes, I got like 2 episodes in. And whenever they were doing that whole shoot 'em in the head thing, because they couldn't get that shit, I just couldn't handle it. It made my nerves too
That's
bad.
the whole show.
Yeah.
I just can't deal with that. It's too much.
It got
my,
worse. So
my anxiety, I just like,
much worse.
no. I need a break. There needs to be the joke here and there. Come on,
Steph couldn't
Jesus
handle
Christ.
the glass crossing thing.
Oh, that what drove me crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just constant executions. Like, oh,
That's
shit.
the whole show.
Yeah, no, thank you. So, but I guess you guys are excited about the season 2 coming back.
Yeah.
I am going to watch. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, are you going to be sad, though, that Cartoon Network, as a physical, whatever, television entity, it is completely shut down. The website is, and they're now redirecting to Max. So it's like it's over.
Well,
I wish they would put all the Adult Swim shows on Max. Instead, they're scattered to the winds, and they're on of weird Sling or Tubi. You know, every once in a while, I'm hankering to watch the Mike Tyson mysteries. You know, they have the Venture Brothers are no longer on Max. I don't know where they are. I think they're on Sling or something. But at least Aqua Teen is still on there.
yeah.
So I can
And
force
that's what
my
they do.
friends to watch
They
them.
own them, so they'll run them for a little while, and then they lease them out to all
Yeah,
those
I think
Tubi.
they're just letting
make
them
money.
go to whatever place will rent them for a while, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Jerks.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if you guys have been hearing about this whole Blake Lively thing, but she just finished. They got this movie coming out. It's based on this stupid book that all these women in my office are reading. I just see it laying on people's desks. It ends with us.
It came out
And,
this past weekend.
Yeah, so it's bomb. I don't think it's bombing, but it's
No,
like
it's number
some
2.
people like it, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
People like it.
It made $30 million in ticket pre-sales before it
She's
even
not
came out.
fat.
All
How can
kinds
you-
of.
how can you fat shame someone who isn't fat?
Well, that's what she says because she had just had her baby a few months ahead of time, and he not only is he the director of this Baldoni guy, Justin Baldoni, he also was the star, the love interest in the movie. And she said several times that he made her feel uncomfortable whenever they were doing scenes. Look, there was a kiss that lasted too long, and blah blah
Get
blah.
over it. You got paid millions of dollars.
And he asked somebody before they did some scene where he had to lift her up. He was asking them how much did she weigh, and that's where she said the fat shaming came in. And he said he has back problems and he just needed to know what he was picking up. So anyway, he has lawyered up as of today. So I think he feels like there's about to be a lawsuit coming his way because a lot of the other people that were cast and crew all kind of echoed what she said, and they all have complaints about this Baldoni dude. It's stupid. But
All right,
anyway, that's all
thank
my
you.
news.
Thank you, Steph, for your news. Guess what time it is?
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Radio Labyrinth. It's your old pal, Casey Kasem, coming at you from August 17, 1987. The number 1 song, Who's That Girl by Madonna. It was the title track from the movie Who's That Girl, where Madonna played a mentally challenged version of herself who also couldn't act. The number 1 movie, Stakeout, a buddy cop action comedy that spawned a shitty sequel with Rosie O'Donnell. Sometimes I still picture her in that dominatrix outfit, and that's when I smoke crack. Now here's a letter to Casey. The letter begins, Dear Casey, I'm such a huge fan. I did something I'm not proud of recently, and I can't tell anyone. I wondered, do you have any embarrassing secrets? Signed, Wondering in Wisconsin. It's funny you should ask. There was one time when I was a homicide detective in Los Angeles, and I was interrogating a serial killer. I couldn't figure out why he enjoyed killing, so later that night I captured the neighbor's cat and strangled it in my driveway. When I saw the light leave its eyes, it all made sense.
Wait a minute. That's a storyline from The Shield.
I know. I sold some stories to Kurt Suter, but he didn't know they were true. Finally, I'd like to wish a happy birthday to my old pal, Lam Kor Wan, a.k.a. the Rainy Night Butcher. Lam used his profession as a taxi driver in Hong Kong to kidnap women, strangle them with electrical wire, and dismember their corpses. You may also know him as the Jars Murderer because he kept their sexual organs in jars. Happy birthday, Lam.
Yeah, happy birthday, buddy.
Keep your feet in the ground and your sexual organs in a jar.
Just in the podcast universe, this is great news for Steph. Glenn Powell is now going to be the lead in a new comedy podcast. You can.
What can't this guy do?
He can do everything. Fucking do everything.
Can't do anything.
Aaron Rodgers appeared at the Madison Square Garden Kill Tony and threw footballs to people. Apparently that was a star-studded one. I was out of it for a while, so
I've seen clips. It looks like it was huge.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Dudesy dudes are done with Dudesy. There's a thread on Reddit in the Dudesy subreddit that people are like, where did all the funny shit go? And Will looks bored. And Dustin and I have had these conversations because we're the two that watch it all the time. And I've just sort of given up on it. I liked the funny stuff they did. I think the Carlin thing scared the shit out of them, so they stopped doing all the celebrity things. And that was part of it that made it funny. They're not doing the, Will's diary. They just don't look like they're having fun anymore. Yeah. And they argue about dumb shit. I really like both of them, and I like Will Sasso a lot. I hope it succeeds, and I hope they continue doing it. But who knows? Once it gets to a certain point, they may just reset it and stop doing it. But that's just what I'm saying. Adam Sandler is on the most recent episode, as of this recording, of Rogan, and I've listened to half of it. It's really, really good.
Yeah, when Adam can get a word in edgewise.
Oh yeah, because Adam just keeps going.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It is good though. A lot of candid, like, behind the scenes kind of stuff, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm writing a note. I'm gonna quit talking bad about Joe Rogan on your podcast. Even though we know you like him and don't hate him or anything. Fuck you.
And TJ Miller is on Harland Highway, which I've yet to listen to. And apparently Jeff's never going to be on When a Stranger Calls, right?
What is this?
Yeah, I haven't been on
What are
yet.
they doing to you, Jeff? I don't like it.
Why don't you reach out and ask?
I'm on the cutting room floor. I'll see if I'm not on this week's. I'll ask Alex.
Tell him you haven't eaten anything or taken a shower or gone to work.
Why won't they leave me alone with my dream?
Yes. Radio Labyrinth is brought to you by Atlanta Pizza in Euro. Here's the thing about Atlanta Pizza in Euro. It's not in Atlanta, but they call it Atlanta Pizza in Euro. It's in Conyers. Why don't they call it CPG? I don't know. It tastes really good. I don't care. Meanwhile, over in Conyers, they have proudly been serving the East Metro Atlanta area for over 40 years. That's a lot of pizza. And gyros. By the way, is it gyro or gyro? Atlanta Pizza in Gyro is the place to be all summer long. They have over 16 ice-cold craft beers and ciders. What's wrong with just drinking cider out of a plastic jug in October like you're supposed to? No, you can drink it all the time, especially at Atlanta Pizza in Euro. Many others are also available in bottles and cans. Look, they have the best gyros, pizzas, hot subs, and Greek and Italian specialties around. Okay? Stop by Monday through Friday from 11 to 9 p.m. and Saturday from 12 to 9 p.m. They're closed on Sundays. Why don't they close on Saturday? On Tuesday nights, they have team trivia from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Bring your smartest friends and test your trivia knowledge, okay? Against the best Conyers has to offer, like Dustin. They also have a food truck. Contact Mike at 770-483-6228 for more details or to schedule an event. He also says, thank you for listening to the best podcast around and for all your business and continued support. Hey, do you have a commercial or residential construction printing need? Well, what are you waiting for? Contact LDI Repro Printing of Athens. They've been in Athens since 2005 with fast turnaround and affordable prices. Call 706-316-9366 or email them at athens@ldiline.com.
Guys, are you reading the online comments?
Gotta read some of these comments.
I'm loving your guys' comments.
You're reading your own comments?
Yeah, they're really good. I worked hard on them.
The secret is don't read the comment cards.
All right, let's read some YouTube comments. YouTube comments. You can go to YouTube. Well, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're already there. So leave us a comment. If you're not following us on YouTube and you're just listening, go to the YouTube page and leave a comment for the show. Deeb says, good morning. Thanks for the show. So she listened or he listened on Saturday morning. Square dance callers talking. Says, another fun show, thanks. I'm old enough to have had the Truly Tasteless Joke Book. Listen to Freedom Rock and turn it up, man. Also, thanks for the podcast channel shout out and the subs. You're more than welcome, dude. Thank you for the comment. And I had all those books. My parents would get them for me. Well, my dad did. My mom didn't. Lawrence Hansen says shit was hilarious. So he's either talking about us or the Rogan special. I'll think it's us. David Goodman says, years ago, Letterman did a top 10 list of things that he didn't want to be called. My coworkers called me Davester for about a year after that. So no sympathy for Tampon Tim. That's not me. That's Tim Waltz, the possible future vice president. Fuchs says, great show. From Freedom Rock to the Shield to the greatest gymnastic-themed martial arts piece of crap, Gymkata. I can't tell you how many times we had parties back in the day where we'd throw this tape in. Yeah, they just don't make movies like that anymore. Thank you, Fuxie. Alan B says, Tampon Tim, don't downplay your love for your mom in buying feminine products. I once bought my wife Vaseline for her nosebleeds in Colorado while a pride parade was taking place. Nothing says I love you like. I was talking to somebody the other day about Vaseline in sexual use. And you learn as a young boy, now Steph, this doesn't apply to you, but there's, you learn as a young man when you first start doing that thing. If you use Vaseline, you have made a tragic mistake because you can't get it off. It takes a couple of days. So don't use Vaseline or baby oil. That's my suggestion.
Yeah, I was never presented with Vaseline when asked to perform any jobs. So it seems like that does seem like you guys had it all worked out by your teen years.
Grab a handful of this, scoop some out, and make it.
Mike Diefenbach says, politics, I still miss Gary Hart in Monkey Business. And Tony Marcel says, all he did was steal Hannah Gadsby's style. So who's he talking about? Rogan?
Probably Rogan.
Yeah.
Views.
Or.
And Snooze.
And we're back.
We are back. Thank you, Jeff. Let's do some views or snooze.
Yeah, last week was Mr. Throwback, Umbrella Academy, and the Instigators movie. I watched all three of them. All three very good.
I've only watched the first episode of Umbrella, which I was into it by the end of it. I just haven't continued on. So you watched the whole
I've watched about 4 of them so far.
And it's good?
Yeah.
My son got up that morning that the Umbrella Academy came out. He woke up, he turned it on and started watching it, and he didn't stop until he was done with the whole thing. Yeah. But no one else had finished watching it, so he had nobody to talk to about it, and it was killing him.
I hate
and
that.
The Instigators movie was really good. I was surprised.
Yeah, I'm going to watch
much better than I expected it to be.
I'm going to watch that.
This week, Bad Monkey. I actually watched the first episode of this last night. So
Was it good?
Fucking good. So fucking good.
Good.
All right, I'm going to watch it.
If you're going to love it.
Yeah.
Is it a half hour?
You love this kind of Vince Vaughn shit where he's playing this kind of character. You're going to be so into it.
Well, I look forward to it. I feel bad for his eyes because, he was like a victim of that. He had that young man, the sexy, sleepy eyes.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh my God, on Hot Ones. Jesus Christ. I've never seen such bags. My God.
Yeah, his face is a little puffy now, but he's still great.
Yeah, I love him.
The first 2 episodes are out now, Bad Monkey.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm definitely going to watch it.
Then Chimp Crazy comes out on HBO Max on the 18th.
That looks good.
This is the new docuseries from the creator of Tiger King. About a crazy chimp lady.
Focusing on monkey people.
Yeah.
I don't care about that bitch. Stupid chimpanzee monkey bitch. Get me out of jail.
As she rips your face off and throws shit at you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that.
And then I made my staff pick, the third one, because I couldn't find something good. They had this documentary on this week on History Channel called American Godfathers, the 5 families. It was really good. Narrated by Christopher Moltisanti.
Oh, okay. What's that on, you said?
It was on the History Channel, so I imagine you can watch it on the History Channel app or on demand somewhere. It was really good. It was a 3-part documentary, so it's like 6 hours. talking
Dang.
about how the mafia formed in New York City with the 5 families.
I want to watch
You talk about Murder Incorporated?
A little bit, yeah.
Those were some tough Jews. That's from The Sopranos. Don't get mad at me. Thank you, Jeff. Let's do our staff picks.
That was mine.
That's Jeff's. I was going to pick Chimp Crazy, but then I saw it in Snooze or Views or Snooze. So I chose Wyatt Earp and the Cowboy War, which is a Netflix documentary narrated by Ed Harris that starts on the 21st. I like Ed Harris and I like the Old West, so I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that.
Yeah,
I like Tombstone, even though I have a very different feeling when I watch Tombstone now as to when I watched it in the 90s, but it's still a good movie.
Oh, yeah. I love that movie. You better skin that smoke wagon.
Yeah, see, lines like that kind of drive me nuts. They're just, no one said that ever really in life, but he said it in the movie.
But Kurt Russell says that shit, and it sounds awesome.
Yes, it does. It does. I don't disagree. It's just, I got that, oh, that's weird. But I do love it when he grabs Billy Bob Thornton by the nose and throws him out of the bar.
He slaps him, keeps slapping him. Mine's a podcast that was recommended to me by our old pal, Amber Gilpatrick. It's a podcast called Noble, and it's about that whole crematorium madness that happened up in Northwest Georgia back in 2002.
Where they were stacking the bodies in the yard.
Yes.
I could have been in that one.
Oh, you were out there too?
Yeah, we when I was working with Service Master in Roswell, we'd had the cleanup on the trucks.
Oh.
Ew.
Yeah, that they had to empty the property with the U-Haul trucks. We had to disinfect them when they came
back. Man.
Those of you lucky enough to have DVDs of the old UGA-based Damn Show starring our friends Waco and Yucko the Clown, they made fun of that pond thing. So that's how long ago this was. Or made fun of the crematorium thing, where they were throwing the bodies in a pond, and one of the characters, I think it was Bobby Possum Cods, caught Dale Earnhardt Jr. He goes, "I caught me a legend," and then he had the body on his wall.
This is a Channel 3 Special Eye Team Undercover Behind the Scenes Breaking News Investigation Expose. Good evening. I'm Philip McCravis. Several weeks ago, a horrific display and lack of reverence was illustrated here in Walker County, Georgia, as residents learned of a gruesome discovery pertaining to Ray Brent Marsh, proprietor of the Tri-State Crematorium. The discovery was made by a local resident, Mr. Bobby Possumcods. He joins us now. Mr. Possumcods, could you recount the events leading up to your discovery?
Yes, I can, Bill. I was fishing down in that lake over there when all of a sudden I felt a big tug on my line. I was excited because I thought I'd caught a big fish. When I went to go take a closer look, I realized I didn't catch a fish. I caught Dale Earnhardt. At first, I was shocked. Then I realized that I'd made the greatest catch in the history of fishing. Any man can catch a fish. I caught a legend.
That's horrible.
If you can find old Dan TV, it's some of the funniest shit that never went nationwide.
Well, just to finish up with that, if you didn't know the story, there was a crematorium in Georgia back in the early 2000s up in the Northwest that wasn't actually burning the bodies. They were just like throwing them all over the property. And it's pretty intense. The podcast is great. I didn't realize how rough it really was to be there and see what they saw. Yeah. So anyway, it's called Noble. It's on all your podcatchers.
Mine is it's a movie, but it's on YouTube. It's been on YouTube for about 15 years, and they haven't taken it off yet. And it's one of my favorite go-tos. It is Brian Bosworth's Stone Cold.
Damn.
One of my favorite go-to movies. I watched, this is no joke. I used to live next to a movie theater in Knoxville before I moved to Georgia. It was actually the summer that I moved to Georgia. And I watched this movie 14 times in the theater.
You are not allowed on this show anymore. Plugs time. Every Monday I release the audio version or my audio rambling podcast called Trambles in the Radio Labyrinth audio feed. That is available wherever you get your podcasts, along with regular Radio Labyrinth. We just don't do a video of it because if I put it on here, it would just kill our momentum. On the Popcast, which is a radio show that I do on 95.5 WSB, only a couple of more episodes left before Georgia football starts. So joining me this weekend on the show from the Nateland podcast is comedian Brian Bates. So now I have 3/4 of the hosts of Nateland. I just have to get Nate Bargatze, and that'll probably never happen. But Brian Gates is coming to Atlanta soon, so you can check their websites for all that stuff. And that's at 7 o'clock Saturday night. And it'll also be a podcast a couple days after the radio show airs. You can get the podcast on any of your podcast feeds. So just look for the Popcast with Tim Andrews on WSB in your podcast feed. And then coming up soon, my 3rd annual Dragon Con preview with Dan Carroll, who's been on this show a whole bunch of times. He's coming in and we're recording it, and that'll air next weekend. If you're looking for a cameo, you know what a cameo is. That's where famous people and, people who are only regionally semi-famous can do personalized greetings for your loved ones or friends or family, whatever you want, in a voice, or I'll do it as myself. Just go to cameo.com and look for Tim Andrews ATL, and I'll do that for you. You can support Radio Labyrinth by becoming a Patreon member. Just go to patreon.com/Tim Andrews, and you can come in at any level and get our Patreon-only episode, which comes out on Wednesdays. Starting next week, we are going to be doing it, actually a week from this coming Wednesday, we're going to be doing it a different way. We need a name for the show. We're going to record it after we record the main show. Sorry, Dudesy. I'm sure we're not the only ones who do that. Theirs is Dudesy after Dudesy, and they get high when they do it. We're not going to be getting high because I can't smoke weed in this studio.
You're not going to be getting high.
Well, you all can. If you guys want to, that's completely up to you. But we're gonna expand on stuff we've already talked about. We'll have other ideas. And of course, if you submit a video that makes you happy, the 3-minute thing that we've been doing, we'll play that video too. But I think it'll be a lot more fun to do it that way. That way we always have a topic, and I think you'll enjoy it. And again, you can contribute to it. And that's any level of Patreon, you'll have access to it. For now, speaking of Patreon, if you come into the $25 level, you are considered a producer and get your name read every week and shout it out. T-shirts are available from our T-shirt store. So I want to say thank you to John Allen, Matt Carter, Chris Chandler, Mike D, Jim Fortner, Terry Fuller, Roby Neely, Jeff Peterson, Tim Slayton, and Brian and Chelsea Smith. So thank you guys very, very much. Am I leaving anything out?
I think you hit all the boxes. I think everything's been checked off. I think everything's done.
Everything's ticked.
And I didn't even complain about, well, one little bit I did. But I didn't even give myself shit for not capturing a voice as exactly as it
I'm
should.
so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Just let it go. Let it go.
Growing. Let it grow. Let it grow. Don't get shut in the ear. Until next week, and on radio. What is your slogan at the end? You say keep it canon.
Keep it canon.
Keep it canon.
It's just keep it canon. All right, bye.
Well, they say all good things come to an end.
What's that got to do with this show?
Lost in the radio.